What's up everybody, Sujan Patel here. This is the first video of my new series called 5 Minutes. In 5 minutes, I'm going to teach you something I know, and hopefully you can take this and repeat it on your own. So the first video is going to talk about how to create a growth framework. And what a growth framework is essentially a marketing and acquisition strategy to rapidly grow your business. It works best for internet businesses, e-commerce, or anyone really online. You can apply this to old school businesses or offline brick and mortar businesses, but it's not designed for that. But you might be able to use it. So let's jump into it. 5 simple steps you can follow to essentially create a growth framework. Most people overcomplicate it, and most people do spend so much time on marketing things that don't necessarily move the needle. So I hate spending time on that. So the first and foremost thing is find your top channels. Find the things that are essentially driving your growth. It may be organic, it may be word of mouth, it may be advertising, whatever it is. It may be email marketing, it may be billboards, whatever your channels are. Figure them out. Understand where your new business is coming from. And I guarantee you, you don't have more than 3 of your best channels. That means you're not gonna have 10, 20, you're gonna have 3. If you have anything more, you probably don't know your best channels. Number 2, is to identify your weaknesses in your funnel. I'm talking about when a visitor comes to your website or the awareness phase, all the way down to a conversion and even post-conversion into repeated transactions or the lifetime value of your customer and the happiness, your customer happiness index. And I want to get into that and the weeds of that, but essentially you need to figure out where your holes are, where your weaknesses are, and then later you can plug them in. So step number 3 is ideation. So you figured out what your top channels are, you figured out what your weaknesses are, and ideally you have probably 3 of your top and 3 weaknesses, or maybe more weaknesses, but let's be realistic. In a month, in a quarter, in a year, you're not gonna solve everything. So choose your top 3 things, your top 3 channels, and your top 3 weaknesses, and start brainstorming. And so number 3 is ideate. Ideate around the problems you have, again, your weaknesses, and how you can scale the top channels you have. That's all. Everything in the middle will help your business grow, but they might be little things. I want to focus on the freaking big things that can really move the needle. I'm talking double, triple digit growth month over month. That's the type of things that will happen if you focus only on your biggest channels and scaling them and fixing your weaknesses. So when you ideate or when you're having a brainstorming session with your team, yourself, whatever, don't plan. Don't even limit yourself. The only limits you have is only focus on the top 3 and bottom 3. Outside of that, feel free to come up with any idea under the sun, budgets aside, resources aside, that can help you solve those problems. Think as far wide as you want. Now, number 4 is you've written this down. You can even have this on a napkin. I don't really care. It works best in this spreadsheet that's linked below. So make sure you check out that spreadsheet that has my growth framework that I use at Narrow. But essentially, once you've ideated, created all these ideas of what you can do essentially to grow your business and fix your weaknesses, now it's time to get realistic and start planning and prioritizing. So from there, think about what can be done, what the impact is gonna be. I like to focus on 40-40-20. What I mean by that is 40% on scaling my top channels, 40% of my energy on scaling and solving my weaknesses, and 20% at throwing shit at the wall. You don't know everything. Frankly, bad ideas always squeeze through, and that's okay. Don't try to fight bad ideas. Roll with it and just devote a portion of time. And if you spend too much time on that, you're probably not growing fast enough. And the last tip I want to leave you, tip number 5, the last thing you need to think about, and this is the most important one, is don't get caught up with the sexiness of an article you read or the shiny objects you see. Look, there's going to be hundreds of things you can do to grow your business, but really, really important that you don't try to repeat a viral campaign. Don't try to do what Slack did in their rapid growth to become a $1 billion company. It's not going to work for you. You can't be the next Airbnb or Airbnb for dogs, right? You have to be yourself, and what worked for them, it likely will not work the same way for you. Frankly, it's just a little too late. So just Brush that stuff under the rug and focus on your top 3 channels and scaling the hell out of them and fixing your weaknesses. That's all. All right, stay tuned for more videos and leave a comment below with your feedback.